Hello guys, today's topic is basic theories of traditional Chinese medicine, Six Pathogen, produced by a TCM college. The contents are conception of six pathogen, classification of six pathogen, characteristic of six pathogen, and applications of preventing six pathogen. Let's have a look at the conception of six pathogen. Six pathogens are wind pathogen, cold pathogen, summer heat pathogen, dampness pathogen, dryness pathogen, and fire pathogen. So there are six pathogens in traditional Chinese medicine, and they all believed the external causes of disease. Let's have a look at the classification of six pathogens. There are two ways to classify the six pathogens. The first is yin-yang classification of six pathogens. They classify the six pathogens into yin-typed and yang-typed pathogen. For example, fire pathogen is looked at as the most yang-typed pathogen, and also summer heat pathogen is also classified into yang pathogen because these two pathogens has obvious pathological factors to cause the body has heat symptoms, and the heat symptoms can be classified into yang nature or yang type. Well, wind and dryness pathogen, actually, they also be classified into yang pathogen. But because these two pathogens have the internal causes of yin deficiency, so it acts as the yang type pathogen. It has the basis of yin deficiency. So these two pathogens can be classified as both yin and yang type pathogen. But in the classic books, these two pathogens are both classified into yang-natured or yang-type pathogen. Well, dampness pathogen and cold pathogen, these two pathogens are classified as pure yin pathogen because these two pathogens characteristic we will discuss later has yin featured. It's cold, it's turbid, it moves slow, it's conservative, it's largish. So these two pathogens, dampness pathogen and cold pathogen, are classified as yin-natured pathogen. So of all the six pathogens, the previous four pathogens have yang nature or yang characteristic or yang type pathogen, while the latter two, dampness pathogen and cold pathogen, they belong to yin pathogen. That is the classic and typical yin-yang classification of six pathogens. For practical use of six pathogen theory, I highly recommend that students learn about the five elements classification of six pathogen, because the six pathogen, if they put it into the five elements theory concept, that would help to target the pathogen and has interrelationship with organs. That would be very helpful for the diagnosis and the corresponding treatment to expel those pathogens. For the five elements, everybody knows that it has a way to classify the human body, especially the human organs, its functions, and it has internal relationship with the pathological factors that affect the body. For example, for the winged pathogen, it has a connection with the liver. It's a wood in five elements. Well, for the fire pathogen, it has, and also summer heat pathogen. These two pathogens, they have the same relationship with the heart organ. Well, dampness pathogen has interconnections with the spleen, and the dryness pathogen has a connection with the lung, and the cold pathogen connection to the kidney. So it's another way of five elements classification of six pathogen, and the six pathogen compare with five elements. They have to put two pathogen into one organ or into one element. That is a fire pathogen and a summer heat pathogen, because they have the similar nature, but there are also some difference between these two pathogens. So fire pathogen, summer heat pathogen, they have been classified as one into one organ, that is the heart, and the element is fire. Fire to fire, fire pathogen to fire element. That sounds reasonable. If you have any questions, you can go back to see the doctrines and the theories of five elements, and you can find the answers of the organs generating and restricting circles and relationship. It's a little bit complicated, but it's helpful for the future study about the complicated human body with pathological changes and factors of the pathogens. That's a six pathogen theory. Let's look at the general characteristic of six pathogen. There are several characteristics of six pathogens. First is relevant. Relevant means the pathogen has its relevant organ. The specific pathogen will attack specific organ. For example, the fire and the summer heat pathogen will attack heart. The wind pathogen will attack the liver. So it has a relevant characteristic of six pathogens. It's a pathogen to organ, specific pathogen to specific organ. The first is relevant. The second characteristic of six pathogen is external, which means this pathogen attack the body by external pathway, by external entry, like mouth, nose, and the skin. Those are organs that exposed to the environment. It's very easy to be attacked by this external pathogen. So that is the second characteristic of six pathogen. And the third characteristic is seasonal. It means these six pathogens have season related. The different season will have different pathogen. It's the invention of traditional Chinese medicine, and it also shows the philosophy of TCM as the human beings and the universe, the world, external world live harmoniously. The weather changes, the season changes will bring seasonal pathogens, and the seasonal pathogens will cause seasonal diseases. For example, in autumn, there are lots of people to have respiratory diseases like cough, like asthma. That is a season-related or seasonal characteristic of six pathogen. And the fourth is geographic. The geographic feature or characteristic of six pathogen, for example, in the northwest of a place or of the earth, will easily suffer wind and cold pathogen. That's has we see the directions of the environment has close or internal relationship with the five elements, and the five elements also has connection with the six pathogen. So if you live in the north west part of America or any place of the country, it tend to suffer more of the wind and the cold pathogen than the people who live in the south or southeast place. And southeast place, they suffer more about summer heat or dampness. So there's no place that can be, away from all the six pathogens. The six pathogens are everywhere. And the next characteristic of six pathogen is environmental. People often experience such problem is like office dryness. If you work in the office because of the air circulation, because of air conditioning, there often happens of the office cough or office dryness. And the office dryness in traditional Chinese medicine, yeah, even in Asian China, there is no office, but they think it's a pathogen called dryness. The dryness will make you have a dry throat, dry mouth, dry eyes, things like that. And the next general characteristic of six pathogen is compatible. Compatible means the pathogen can combine with each other, especially those have internal related pathogen. They're easy to go with another pathogen. For example, wind is a leading pathogen that can go with other, or we say all the other pathogens like wind cold, wind heat, wind dampness, and wind dryness. It can go. Everybody can go with the wind. Yeah, it's go with the wind, not gone with the wind. Well, next one is transformative. Transformative, that means the nature of the pathogen can change in the body by the body modification. For example, there's a famous theory about the hidden pathogen theory. It shows that if someone caught cold in winter, there is a high possibility that he will have fever, which means fire in spring season. That is a hidden pathogen. But the pathogen suffered in winter is cold pathogen. But in the spring, it has a fire pathogen. So what make it? Because the pathogen has a transformative characteristic. So it can turn into the opposite feature or opposite type of pathogen. So this cold can transform into fire pathogen. The primary pathogen is cold pathogen, but after it hide inside the body and it turns into the opposite nature the pathogen, that is fire pathogen. So it's the last characteristic feature of six pathogen, that is transformative. Well, let's have a careful look and that need to remember about the specific characteristic of six pathogen. We have to know about the characteristic of each pathogen that can help us to make right conclusion, make a right diagnosis and differentiation of the patterns. That is the cause of the disease. What causes the problem? We need to find out the characteristic of our enemy. That's six pathogen. for wind pathogen, it's a yang type pathogen. Yang type pathogen means it's active, it's strong, it's moving rapidly, it's attacking upper part of the body. So if you find someone who suffered the upper body problems, for example, headache, that's the upper part of the body. So this part is young part we see the young part of the body. So this part can be attacked by young type pathogen. And the young type pathogen, number one is heat, number two is wind. So wind pathogen is a young type pathogen and it's attacking upper part of the body. And the wind pathogen is easy to produce sweat. If you find someone who has a sweating, it shows he has or she has wind pathogen in the body, because the wind pathogen can blow up the door and make the sweat, the body fluid, to go through the sweating hole, and make sweating. And wind pathogen moving fast and change rapidly. If you find someone who has the problems goes from one part of the body to another part of the body very quickly, or the client's symptoms changing rapidly, that must be the work of wind pathogen. So what can we see in the clinic practice that people may suffer the wind pathogen? Itchy, dizziness, and vertigo, and migratory symptoms. The migratory symptoms shows that the wind pathogen goes from somewhere to other places. So the migratory pain, the migratory itching, the migratory numbness all shows pathogen of wind do this job, make this result, make this symptom. The second pathogen of the six pathogen is cold pathogen. Cold pathogen is in-type pathogen, which means it's easy damaging qi and yang. And it will cause stagnation because the cold pathogen is very easy to constrict and contract the muscles, the tendons, the blood vessels. It can cause the contracting and constricting of the body function and movement. So it's like a freeze. You cannot move. If the body function cannot move, if the people have stiffness, have cold sensation, have pain, have a spasm, that's often caused by the freezing of cold pathogen. And the third is summer heat pathogen. Summer heat pathogen is yang type pathogen damaging qi and body fluid. Because it's yang type pathogen, it's like fire, it's heat, it's easy to burn out the body fluid. And it also can produce sweat and causing mental disorder, because the heat can go directly to the heart, and the heart is responsible for mental problems, mental functions. So if there is mental disorder and this situation happens in summer, that's high possibility of attacking by summer heat pathogen. So next characteristic of summer heat pathogen is it often goes with dampness pathogen. So in summer, if you suffer the summer heat pathogen, you will feel fatigue, and you feel swelling, you feel tired, and you have lots of sweat. That's caused not only by the summer heat but also by the dampness pathogen, and we will tell about the dampness pathogen afterwards. And it happening, the summer heat pathogen only happens in summer season. That's the most featured characteristic of summer heat pathogen. It only happen in summer season. If you have, if you if the client feels bad in winter, even he appears or she appears symptoms as sweating and damaging of qi and body fluid, uh, uh, it cannot be make the conclusion as summer heat pathogen, because summer heat pathogen only appear in summer season. And next pathogen is dampness. Dampness pathogen is very interesting. This pathogen is in-typed pathogen. It often attacks qi and in the lower body, lower part of the human body. And the characteristic of this pathogen is sticky. It has very sticky nature and hard to be removed. So if people suffer dampness, you cannot wish to uh, solve this problem, remove the dampness pathogen in a day. It will last weeks or even months or even years to remove this dampness. So this dampness, if it attacks your body, it's like going to the sauna room. That will last, the continuous effect of the dampness will last a very long time. And the dampness pathogen is very easy to cause stagnation. This stagnation means the stagnation of qi movement, the stagnation of blood. So if people suffered the dampness pathogen, you are very easy to find the swelling and heaviness of the body, because it block the qi circulation, the energy transportation, and also it blocks the circulation of our body fluid. And because it's in nature the pathogen, so it's often attacking the lower part of the body, and you'll find the lower limbs edema. That's a feature of the dampness pathogen. So in clinical practice, there are some evidence or some symptoms that you can take as reference for finding out the dampness pathogen. The first is the turbid discharge. The turbid discharge means if the discharge or secretion of the body from the body, no matter it's from the nostril or from a vagina, if it shows it's turbid, we say it's turbid, it's not clear, it has high possibility to suffer the dampness pathogen. And the bloating. And bloating is a symptom of qi stagnation. And the qi stagnation, the most common reason, the most common cause is dampness pathogen block the qi circulation of the body, especially the digestive tract. And the people will often feel heaviness. Heaviness is also the blockage of qi evidence caused by dampness pathogen. And edema. Edema is a typical symptom that people have the body fluid circulation blockage, stagnation, and the reason mostly dampness pathogen. And next is dryness pathogen. Dryness pathogen is very interesting. It's seems very simple of this pathogen. The dryness pathogen, its feature, its characteristic is dry and rough. It's easily damage the body fluid. because of its feature, its dryness. So dryness pathogen that can damage the body fluid easily, and because by five elements interactions interrelationship, the dryness dryness pathogen has interconnection with the lung. So if people suffer the dryness pathogen, it often attacks the lung as the first time. So if people suffer the dryness pathogen, their symptoms are dryness. Dryness is a very obvious symptom for the people who suffer dryness pathogen. Yeah, it seems reasonable. Uh, Dryness pathogen and dryness symptom. And especially some people cough with less sputum, we see dry cough. If people suffer the dry cough, it's often suffer the dryness pathogen. And fire. Fire pathogen is the most complicated pathogen and the most difficult pathogen to treat. It's yang type pathogen. It's attacking the upper part of the body, and it develops very rapidly. It goes as fast as the wind. If wind goes with fire, wow, that's terrible. It's like the was a disaster. The fire and the wind blow. Wow, it's a big, big, big headache for the firefighters. Second is damaging qi and body fluid. The fire pathogen is easy to destroy the qi, even it's yang natured pathogen, yang type pathogen. But because it's too strong, it will damage everything, every part of our energy, not only qi but also body fluids. So the energy and the fluids, the qi and the fluids are both damaged by this fire pathogen. And third, it's disturbing blood circulation. The fire can goes anywhere, and it will not only burn the qi, burn the fluid, it will burn the blood vessels and disturb blood circulation and make irregular circulation of the blood. And of course, it goes to the heart organ and it will cause a mental disorder. So if people have mental disorder, especially those people are crazy, mad, and easy to be irritated, that is, possibly caused by the fire pathogen. And next is causing sores and carbuncles. That's the nature of the fire pathogen make, because the fire pathogen can burn everything. It can burn the tissues, cells, tissues, and make it has sores and carbuncles. In clinic practice, you can find the fire pathogen in the following symptoms, like itchy, acute infection, and acute inflammation are caused mostly by fire pathogen. And next is bleeding. Bleeding is caused by the fire pathogen. Most of the bleeding problems are caused by the fire pathogen, because only the fire pathogen can burn the blood vessels, goes to the blood vessels, and make the blood vessels and blood circulation disorder. So if you find the bleeding in clinic practice, you think about fire pathogen, no problem. And we'll have a look at the application of preventing six pathogen. Yeah, we mentioned about prevention than the treatment. If we can prevent us from the six pathogen attacking, that can avoid most of the problems. There are three ways to prevent six pathogen attacking, because we understand the nature of the and the characteristic of the six pathogen, and we can find the corresponding ways to prevent that. First, protecting external body from invading of six pathogen, which means we need to protect our nose, our mouth, and our skin. Those are the six pathogen invading entry to our body. So if we can protect these parts well, we can protect our body and prevent the six pathogen from invading and attacking our body. And the second is refill the qi and the body fluid for future consumption. What does it mean? It means that we know that some pathogen will attack and consume our qi and body fluid. We need to refill this energy and body element to prevent the pathogen developing to a deeper part of our body to make the disease severe. That's for future consumption. It's like war consumption. We need to refill our bullets. We need to consolidate our defense works. And the third is concerns the core organ for relevant pathogen. That is first general characteristic of six pathogen, because specific pathogen will attack specific organ. So if this organ has a problem, it has highly possible being attacked by the specific pathogen. For example, if people have bloating and edema, especially with no digestive disorder, and we make analysis, this is definitely the problem of a spleen. The spleen function is easily be attacking by the Daphnis pathogen. So if we have some digestive diseases, especially with the symptom of as bloating, and poor appetite and swelling and edema, and we know that is caused by the spleen organ, and the pathogen we find out that is Daphnis. So the corresponding treatment would be focused on removing the Daphnis. And I have some assignment for the students. First, which of the six pathogen develops rapidly? Second, which of the six pathogens that people only suffer in summer? Third, which of the six pathogen primarily attacks upper body, lower body? Fourth, which of the six pathogen consumes qi, yang, body fluids? Next, if the client complains itchy skin, which of the six pathogen attack? If the client complains dry cough, which of the six pathogen attacks? Last is a case study. Yeah, this case happens on July the 4th, 2026. Yeah, it's a future disease. A 64 years Texas white farmer gentleman complains of itchy and swelling of both legs. He feels dry mouth and fatigue. The diagnosis is eczema, and the medical history shows that he has diabetes, high blood pressure, and coronary artery diseases. You know, this is very common in Texas and very common in the elder people. The question is, figure out the involved factors of six pathogen in this case and arrange in order of importance. That is what I really want to do, is to find the priority. If we see that there are several multi-factor involved in a case, which is the most important factor, which is our priority that need us to solve. That's the key. Thank you for watching this video. If you have any question, give me email tcmcollege@gmail.com.